kids. Fuck the kids? Yeah.
You have just tuned in to the Mag Nerd Podcast, your home for everything in music, anime, and gaming. What is up, people? Showing up the King here, back with another toy review, and today I'm bringing you my review for the biggest SH Figuarts Dragon Ball figure of all time. I'm talking about the Great Ape Vegeta. God damn, this thing is big. It's so big, in fact, that my entire diorama is too big to contain this thing. It's too small to contain this thing. So it's gonna look a little weird, but again, I'm just showing the Son Goku Ultra Instinct as a comparison, just so that you can see how big this thing is. All right, so let's take a look at the box. Again, you can see the Yajirobe, you can see the alternate scarf for the face, you can see the figure himself and this fantastic box art. You can see on the side here, we have more shots of Great Ape Vegeta. And on the back, we have that he is 310 meters tall as far as that is concerned. Great box art. Again, on the side, we have Yajirobe in the different positions you can get him in. And look back at the front. I am very, very excited to get this thing open. And again, if you guys have not checked out my Ultra Instinct Goku versus review, it is the sign from SH Figuarts versus the Demonical Fit. Definitely check that out. Alright, so here we go. This thing is, woo! Y'all gonna see bits and pieces of my hands coming in and off the stage. It is what it is. Let's move him off of there to here. And first let's look at the stand that's going to be able to support this beast. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to fit him. Well, I have a big display for my Dragon Ball figures, so this isn't going to go into detail, I'll tell you that. But this is the stand that he comes with. Pretty standard. It would have been nice if they put like a Figuarts or embossed like a Great Ape Vegeta on there. It just would have been a nice touch. It comes with a claw to hold him up. I can get this thing out. There we go. So this is the claw that holds him up. I'm assuming this goes underneath the crotch and then this wraps around the waist and then you just kind of plug it in. And then I'm guessing this is the thing that holds Yajirobe's tail, or to hold up Yajirobe. So we'll see. Let's get to the other part. Alright, so that is the stand and everything that's in it. So we're going to have to move this out the way temporarily so we can take a look at the actual figure. And again, Shredder is not happy that we're taking up his dojo with all this craziness. And again, I'll just show you guys a front view of everything in the packages so you can see how it is. There are the hands that are crushing Goku. Here's Yajirobe. There's the alternate face. There's his tail. I mean, this thing is detailed. Let's get this top off. Whew. Let's get this big mamma jamma out. Oh, this is a big old hunk of plastic. You can hear the tight joints though. I like that. Alright. There we go. Let's take a look. Before we look at the accessories, let's just take a look at Vegeta. And I gotta say, he is massive. And I really like the attention to detail in the actual battle damage, because again, we all know from watching it in the anime that was one hell of a fight he had with Goku, and you can tell in his Saiyan armor. Like, here's the thing that makes me mad though: why can't they get this kind of detail in the actual Vegeta? Like, if we get a Dragon Ball Z Vegeta 2.0 with the new body and articulation, I want to see the same battle damage on that suit, because this is absolutely amazing. I mean, from his spandex, from the boots, from the arm, from the shoulder pads. Everything is just crazy. See this? Move this up for the tail. So let's just get a quick look at everything from front to back, side to side, so you guys can see, get a real good close-up of his face. Obviously his mouth opens up. Now I just need to get like a little beam effect so he can just kind of like shoot the fire out of his eyes. And there's like a little chest plate here. I don't know if that's supposed to be moving. You guys see that right there? I'll have to read the instructions on that. Because again, this is one that you don't want to mess up. Oh, his face fell off. Now that could be a problem, because again, if it's loose like that, that could definitely be a problem. But let's see. So I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys. Alright, so it looks like that just fits in like that. Okay. So it's not necessarily loose per se. It's just, that's how it comes off. So this is how his face comes off. And then you can interchange it with the, I guess it's the damaged face when he gets hit with the spirit bomb. So, alright. Again, let's just take a quick look at him from the front and the side. We'll get into articulation, because you know normally I don't do articulation, but we'll get into that as well. Alright. Put him to the side here. So, it comes with alternate hands. It comes with a pointing finger. It comes with a fist. And again, all have the same detail with the battle damage look to it. So that's cool. It comes with another fist. And this is the one I wanted to look at the most. And I think this is where the articulation in the chest comes from, because I think if you want to do that position where he's crushing Goku, that's probably what the extra articulation is for. But I actually really love how they show the detail in Goku. So you can look up, let me see if I can get my camera to zoom in. Let's see here. There we go. You can see the detail that they put in the Goku face. Look at that. That was hand painted. And you can even see the feet dangling out here. That is incredible. So even though it's not in scale to the Goku, they made sure that, well, when I say it's not in scale to the Goku, it's not in scale to the 6-inch figure, so you can't make them hold your 6-inch figures. They gave it to you so that you could have it in scale with the Z Fighter. And that's amazing. That is amazing. Right down to the eyebrows of him squinting, you can see that. Look at that. Incredible. Alright, SH Figuarts, I see you. Let's get a look at this tail. Zoom back out. And again, it looks like a Saiyan tail. I like the color. It looks fine. I'll put it on later so you guys can see what it looks like. But that looks good. Now let's look at this Yajirobe and this other face. Put this here. And this is the other face where his eye is closed or damaged from getting shot in the eye. Looks good. Vein pulsating. Nice paint. Looks good. And then we have Mr. Yajirobe himself when cutting off the tail. Again, let's zoom in so we can get a look at those details. And it looks like, I mean, it looks like Yajirobe in the face. It looks kind of like Yajirobe in the face. I mean, you know who it is, but I think just from the anime, his face looked a little bit different. But again, it's cool. And again, I like how they still put the detail in the sword, like the hilt and the guard and all that is still yellow and it's painted. The silver in the sword is painted. The scabbard is painted. Even his underwear underneath is painted. So they went in meticulous detail to get this Yajirobe right, and I'm happy. I'm happy with it. I really am. And then this is a little piece you stick in his back that I saw from before. And I'm assuming, let me go grab it real quick. Yep, that you just port this in here, and then you can do the whole chopping off the tail. Sorry, I gotta zoom back out in order to get the focus. See, so you stick the thing in the back and you just kind of have it chopping off the tail. It's cool. And only other thing that's in the box is the chopped off tail effect. So you would slap that on the back of the Vegeta, and that will show that his tail has been chopped off. And so let's go ahead and go through and try to put some of these pieces on. So let's get into the articulation and the accessories. I took a couple of minutes just to play around with the figure, kind of get my bearings around it so I can explain and articulate to you guys how this thing works. So the first thing I want to let you know is that he is extremely top heavy. So be careful, like if you're going to stand him up in your displays, I would definitely recommend that you use the stand and make sure that you have the things gripping him, because he is probably the weight of like 2 Broilies. And I'm talking about the Super Broly. So this thing is massive, but the inside, the chest area is hollow, and I'll show you. So what they did was, as you can see here, the little joint right here on the inside of the pectoral muscles. That's because it wants you to be able to properly do the pose where he's gripping Goku. So what happens is that you can pull it out like this, and you can kind of see exactly on the inside of the figure that it is kind of hollow in the front, and most of the weight is actually weighted in the arm. So when I say it's top heavy, it's because of the arm. So that is like a solid yellow block on both sides, and it comes out. And again, that's simply so that you can do the position where you're Goku and you're grabbing Goku, and it's kind of like his trap. So again, that's what that is for. But it is solid, so you don't have to worry about breaking it. You can move it around, and again, it does end up working out in general. So let's just put in, oh, actually, let me do the face first. So in order to change out the face, you just pull it off the mouth, the top snout, and you can just pull that off, and then you can replace it with that. So you can give him the damaged eye, and then you can just snap that in, and there you go. Damaged face Vegeta. I mean, this thing is crazy. And while we're at it, let's look at the articulation. He can look left to right. He can look up not so much that much, and he can look down. And you know, he can look left to right. And again, he does have some ab crunch, so you can kind of do like a open mouth attack. His mouth doesn't open up that wide, so be careful with that, because it looks like this bottom hinge doesn't move a lot. So if you want him like doing like a huge scream, let's see. So you can see here, his mouth doesn't open up that much. His mandible doesn't move that much. I'm actually going to put the other face back on because I like it better with his eyes showing on both ends. Sorry, this thing is big, so I'm trying to keep it in frame, but at the same time work with it. So it might be tricky trying to get like the little beam effect with his mouth open, because again, his mouth doesn't open up that wide. And again, it's fine. It's fine. So again, the waist itself can go down in a downward position like this. So you can look about this far down, and then you can kind of, he can't like look all the way up, but his neck does move up in an upward position like that. All right. So let's put the tail on. See how he looks with the tail. So that's just a simple matter of this. And the tail is on, up and down, swivel. You can even go in between his legs like this. I'm not going to even do that. I am immature, but I'm not that immature. So the tail works. The tail works. And then we can do the chopped tail. I'll grab that, and you just simply port that in, and boom. Chopped tail. It would have been nice if they gave us, well, no, I guess that really wouldn't have worked anyway, so forget I said that. And again, like I said, I think the armor plate does a really good job of moving around freely to kind of hide those internal parts, so it's not a big issue. And again, as you can see, he can still easily stand up on his own. And to change out his hands, it's just a simple tug and port like that. Easy peasy. All right, and it's going to be too hard to do it on camera, so I'm gonna put these arms on off camera, and then we'll come. All right, so again, I apologize. I had to kind of put the arms on off camera just because of the sheer size of that thing. It's not easy for me to move around and maneuver, but I will say with confidence that it is not that hard. They learned a lot of lessons from the Jiren and from even with the Vegeta, because I know a lot of people had issues with the Jiren and the way that his crossed arms worked, where it would break the sides, but they definitely took care in doing that with the Vegeta. So you can kind of see here, and I'll turn it around so you can see the details. If you're posing this thing, number one, you have to use a stand. It will support its own weight, as you could see, but it is definitely a fall risk. And again, with this thing, as much money as it costs, you don't want that happening. You don't want it in like a DTOF and it just tips over, because if this thing hits your DTOF window the right way, it'll come flying right out of that DTOF, because this thing is top heavy. Especially when he's holding Goku, he's even more so leaning forward. But again, even now, his feet are supporting you. But I can just tell you now, if you're holding him like this for a long period of time, there is a substantial risk to fall. So again, I don't want you guys being upset if something like that happens. Now, one thing that I will say is a bit of a gripe is that, again, is this mouth is not opening up the way that I had wanted it to. Like, I really wanted like a screaming mouth Vegeta, but it just doesn't open up. And the funny thing is that if you take the faceplate off, his mouth goes up all the way. Look at that. But it doesn't go down. Like, why would you do that? Why would you make his mouth be able to go up but not go all the way down so he can have like a true screaming face? And because this doesn't have any articulation as far as like going up and down, all you can do is just stick it in. I don't understand it, because it's such great detail in the teeth and the tongue. I just don't understand how you couldn't get that screaming thing going on. It's the only thing I can think of is maybe if I can pull this out and rotate it, maybe it'll go in the down direction. But again, I'm not going to do that now, because again, I don't want to risk destroying the figure itself. So again, I'll do some research and figure out if that's a defect or not. But again, just to show you guys, he can hold Goku, and again, his head does go down enough so you can kind of see him holding Goku. And again, I'll give it to you a shot from the side and from the upper, so you can kind of see how it looks as he's holding him. But again, with something this massive, it's kind of hard to show it. So I'm going to put him to the side real quick and show you guys the stand. So I already took the liberty to put the stand in. If you've dealt with stands before, it's just a simple matter of slapping it in, and then you would just set Vegeta in. He cradles right in, and then you would just put it around his waist, and it's perfect. Absolutely perfect stand. As you can see, from the front, from the side, and from the back, and from the side again. And then when you want to do is to do the Jack Jarobi pose, there's a tiny little hole right here, and you simply just take Yajirobe, like I said before, you put them in, and you just pour them in right there. And then you get the whole tail chopping thing. And I can zoom in so you guys can see it. So you can kind of mimic the whole tail chopping. it's cool. And again, they didn't have to add that. Like, so again, I'll definitely give SH Figuarts props on this. They did not have to add in these little small details to make this figure perfect. But again, when you pay this kind of money, if they want to make figures like this in the future, like we can get a fat Janemba, or we can do something where we can get a Harudagon from like the movie. So if these kind of things sell, it opens up all the possibilities to get bigger figures in the future. And again, like I said, they did this right in my opinion. So for the most part, that's it. The only other things that I want to go through now is articulation. And then I want to do some size comparisons, and then we'll get out of here. All right, guys, we're almost at the end. Let's do this articulation and then get some comparisons, and then I'll let you guys be on your way. So even though I didn't put the arms on live on camera, I can take them off. It's a simple matter of tug and tug, and there you go. And then what I want to do is I want to put, well, let's actually do it like this. So articulation, legs can go all the way up, and I love the sound of that snap. The knees can fully bend, as you can see here, and they go back down. We have full, it's on an ankle rocker, and it has a toe hinge, and the foot itself can go up in an upward ankle like that. So they made sure, and it can go in the downward direction as well. They made sure, and then of course there's swivel to the legs. And they made sure to do that because, again, I think because they know that this is a top heavy figure, they do realize that the bottom half of this guy has to be posable. It has to be able to get into certain poses in order to be legit. And again, with the arms can go in like this. And again, once they're in its normal position, the shield kind of covers everything up, so you don't have to worry about seeing the inside and gappage. But again, it can come all the way out like that. Bicep swivel. Full arm display can go up. Double jointed elbow. Sorry about that. Again, the ab crunch is not really there. It can kind of look down, as you can see here, but it doesn't really have much of an ab crunch going up. Same thing with this arm. Again, the tail itself has full range of motion in the up and down. Can go all the way up, can go all the way down, can twirl, and again, if you, depending on how you turn it, you can go left to right. And again, it can kind of split about that much. I don't know why you want to split it that much, but it can. So it does have a full range of motion, and it's tight joints. It really is. And again, I already talked about the head, and it can move left to right. And this again is just a solid figure. It really is. Again, like I said, I can't stress enough that make sure you guys, even though he can stand on his own, I really, really hope you guys use that stand, because I don't want anybody's figures to fall over. So that's that. Let's do the comparison. All right, guys. So here we are at size comparison time, and I thought the best way to do this, just to give you guys perspective, is to give you something from every little facet. So over here we have the SH Figuarts Figuarts Jiren. We have the Power Rangers Legacy Collection Dragon Zord. We have the SH Figuarts Kaioken Goku, and we have the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Broly version 1. So again, as you guys can see, the different sizes that dictate how big this figure is. Again, let me just zoom in. It's a little bit, pan, zoom in, pan. And again, you can just kind of tell this is an amazing figure. Like, I definitely think SH Figuarts knocked it out of the park. Again, some of the pros, again, I love the detail in the armor. I love the detail even in the tail. I love the detail in this. And actually, this is the figure that this is the way I'm going to pose him probably when he's on my shelf, is him crushing the other Goku. That's just probably the best way I'm going to do it. The only gripe that I would have is I definitely think that that mouth is a little bit of an annoyance. And again, I'm gonna play around with it just to see if I can get it to open up even more. Again, I just didn't want to do that on camera because I didn't want to risk breaking it. So again, I'm going to do some research, figure out if I can find a way to get that mouth to open up wide, because I would love to be able to do the pose where he's like screaming in the air and just like shooting out the little beam. But with the way that that mouth is not opening up just as wide, that might be a problem. But again, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you are, did you pick yours up? Did you get yours in the mail yet? Let me know what you think. Comment in the section below. Thumbs up the video. Support the channel. This is Showing Up the King, and have a great day. Peace.